G with A Game Sports. I'm here to talk about who brought their A game this week and who didn't. Last week, we left off with Golden State and Portland playing Game 4, which Golden State, of course, took that over and swept the Portland Trailblazers. Real sad for you, Dame. Real sad for you, CJ. But clearly you guys don't have enough to beat the juggernaut Golden State Warriors. Even without KD, they're actually more fun to watch, honestly. A lot more ball movement. When KD's on the floor, he kind of slows down the offense. Not saying that he's not needed, because, the media keeps saying, hey, they don't need KD. That's not true. Now, KD needed them more than he needed them, but that's not the point. The point is that they're still a great team, real fun to watch, and honestly, I'm ready to see them in the finals and see what's going to happen, even if KD doesn't come back. Now, Toronto and Milwaukee, they're real interesting because I definitely thought Milwaukee would win it all. I thought this would be over by now. But Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors are showing that they really have some heart. With it now being up them being up 3-2 over Milwaukee, tonight might be the end of Milwaukee's reign. It might be time for Toronto to go to the finals and show everybody that they made a good decision by firing Dwayne Casey and getting rid of DeMar DeRozan, because Kawhi Leonard is over there doing everything that DeMar DeRozan never could. Maybe Drake's curse is reversed. I don't know. I see him here with all his friends. They call it Jurassic Park. I guess that's kind of cute, kind of lame, whatever. The Greek Freak has been playing, pretty decent, but it's also showing us that maybe the Greek Freak's not the LeBron of the East right now. Maybe he's exactly who he was last year. So now, this is the thing. If Toronto loses this series at this point, not only is the Drake curse real, but that just further proves that the Toronto Raptors will never be anything. So no pressure, Kawhi, but it's some pressure. And I was really looking forward to seeing Eric Bledsoe play in the finals. Shout out to Birmingham native Eric Bledsoe, but he might not get to play. Also this week, we saw Chris Bouchard and KD go through a little Twitter beef. I'm not sure what it's about. Honestly, I just think sometimes the media has a slow day, so we like to focus on social media. And KD knows this. His PR team, they need to sit down and talk to him and say, just stay off of there until the finals are over. Just stay off of the internet. You already know what people are going to say, so stop giving it any of your energy. At this point, you know what everybody thinks about you. And you give them reason to think that about you because you continue to lash out. So next time, keep it to yourself. We get it. You want to defend yourself. But honestly, who cares what Chris Bouchard thinks? Who gives a fuck about him? Like, nobody. He doesn't, he might vote for the NBA team, so maybe he does matter, huh? A little. So KD sees that Chris Bouchard goes onto TV and says that they have a love-hate relationship and that they've had, text messages for hours about faith and family. And then he gets on Twitter and says, cap, 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 you don't have my number, man. And honestly, both of them are lying. KD's lying because everybody knows that 50-year-olds think a text message is a DM, a messenger message. It's all the same to them. So let's just be clear. If he talked to you through your DM, that's still a communication, KD. Let's not act like y'all haven't had any outside conversations. Now, Chris Bouchard did make it seem like you guys had a personal relationship, and that's clearly not the case. That's like someone saying, hey, I know April. Yeah, you know me because you saw me, but you don't know me. So both of them should just really get their panties out of a wad. It's not a big deal. Who cares? The truth of the matter is KD has to get over the fact that people are going to talk about him. He's too thin-skinned to be a superstar. People are going to always have something to say. I just wish KD would just admit, hey, I needed Golden State more than they needed me. And that's okay. It's okay, I promise. No one cares. Get your rings, because guess what? Everybody else is trying to do the same thing. They're just not as smart as you. So just chill. And yeah, Chris Bouchard loves to tell everybody he's a devout Christian and that he never lies, but come on, guys. Right. That's a lie right there. But anywho, all I know is that Chris Bouchard needs to stop bringing up KD, and then maybe KD would stop talking about him too. But you know, maybe it was just a slow week. And now we have the all NBA teams. They did come out with that, I think, about 2 days ago. And we have a list of the first through the third teams. Pretty good selections. Y'all see LeBron James on the third team? It might be the beginning of the end. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. You go from 1, 2, 3, and then we don't see you anymore. No, I'm just playing. More than likely, it's just because of how many games he played this year. So hopefully, you know, he'll go back to being on 1 or 2 next year with the Lakers. I mean, I know our front office is a shit show, but I really want to see us progress. I've been seeing reports that LeBron has been reaching out to Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving. So if he's doing that, I mean, hell, get him the GM job. He's doing better than Magic did. You know who got me fucked up this week? Paul Pierce. And I know it's like, what did Paul Pierce do this week? Not really anything, but he did tweet on the 17th of May that the Bucks got this. And ever since he did that, they've lost every game. So if they lose tonight, not only are we going to blame Paul Pierce, we're going to say the Drake curse is over. Next, I want to talk about, I got to talk about, I have to talk about my Lakers. We haven't smelt the playoffs in 6 years. And that's not like us. So I was thinking as soon as Magic Johnson came, things would look up. But I was wrong. And apparently, Magic Johnson is more worried about people talking behind his back than to do his job. So that's why he quit. Along with the fact that he's real arrogant to say that, oh yeah, I could have told LeBron, but I did it my way. Your way sucked. Your way wasn't the right way. And it's okay to admit you're wrong. I guess because you are Mr. Magic, you don't feel like you need to, but I mean, they need to just go and take a wet blanket and cover your statue in front of the stadium, because you're not even helping us at this point. Going on national TV, basically telling us that the organization is shit, which we already knew anyway. How is that going to help the organization? How would any free agents want to come there? Why? You're basically saying, hey, Jeannie Buss tells everybody what to do, and she doesn't have, it's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. Who wants to work for a company like that? I know I don't. I think the main problem with Magic Johnson is that he wanted to go and save face, but he just made the organization look bad. I'm not saying Rob Pelinka didn't talk about him behind his back, but hey, we've all worked somewhere before. Everybody's talked behind somebody's back. Is it that deep? Or could you come to him as a man and say, hey, what's your problem? Let's fix it. But instead you say, I'm gonna quit, I'm not having fun anymore. Your job is not fun, Magic. Your job is a job. Not saying that you're not supposed to have fun as, you know, the president of basketball operations, but you should be in gyms, you should be recruiting, you should be knowing what's going on. You got on national TV and told us that you could not go to the movies with your wife on Sundays anymore because you were the president of basketball operations. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have never got that job. And I blame Jeannie, because why would you even give Magic the job knowing that he can't dedicate his time to it? Magic Johnson is more worried about taking Cookie out to eat than he is about making sure that his team wins games. Now, I will say that he did help with the cap space by getting rid of some of the bad contracts that we did have. But outside of that, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And I honestly believe that he doesn't think that we were going to get a free agent, because he promised us one. And when he realized that wasn't going to happen, he bowed out. So not only did he bow out, but he decided to burn the house down with it. And some more, you know, maybe you guys didn't know this news. Even though that James Harden and Chris Paul are clearly out of the playoffs, there is a report that came out that after Game 6, they got into a little tussle. Honestly, James Harden is a bitch, and so is Chris Paul. But in this case, Chris Paul was actually right. Chris Paul said, hey, we need to share the ball more, move the ball. Because ISO ball is not going to beat the Golden State Warriors. But James Harden was uninterested. If you look at previous tapes, you'll see that James Harden does nothing off the ball. He won't even set a screen. He does nothing. So if he does nothing, they can't win. So instead of him, he needs to humble himself this offseason. That needs to be James Harden's point of reference. I get it, your step back is great, your shot is great, but you need to work on humbling yourself this offseason. Because being a great individual player and never winning rings is not something you want to do. You don't want to end up like a Charles Barkley, a Karl Malone. You deserve a ring, so act like it. Real talk, I want to know who won. I almost feel like Chris Paul beat his ass because he's kind of scrappy. It's like he got a lot of pent up aggression. He's probably real scrappy. Also, Scottie Pippen sat down with PJ Tucker like last week, I believe, and he basically just called him out and said, do you really think your style of play will win a championship? And PJ Tucker, of course, is going to say the politically correct thing, but he and all of America knows that it's never going to work. So James Harden not only needs to watch that interview again, because Scottie Pippen has some rings. Maybe he should learn a thing or two. But also, James Harden has to realize that ISO ball, the day of that is dead, That died a long time ago. Kobe had to learn that. So you have to learn that. You have to share the ball. You have to trust your teammates.
This shit died with
It died with Kobe. It died. Because you remember when Kobe after Shaq, there was a time where Kobe was going off by himself and they weren't winning shit. Yeah. Then you have to grow up. That's called being a young man to growing up. You know when you young, 22, 23, up until you about 30, you think you're invincible. Now you realize shit gets real out here.
Pass the ball, Kobe Joe come from.
Yes. Yeah, and Kobe should have passed the ball. And so should you, LeBron. And so should you, James Harden. LeBron James passes the ball.
Yeah, he does pass the ball.
That's all he do. If he can do that, he can pass the ball. He ain't no killer though when we need him. But that's not the point. But yeah, so the best thing for James Harden to do is to make sure that he humbles himself this offseason. Hey, work out with Kobe. You see what it did for the Greek Freak and Kawhi. You see that they're still playing and you're not. I know I'm ranting at this point, but one thing that really bothers me is how much Golden State hate that people give out. Golden State did everything that any other small market team should learn from. You draft well, and you also make good decisions with different pieces of the puzzle. Along with you get a coach that believes in everybody is important. Nobody is more important than the other. The media tries to divide them, but they clearly know who they are. If you're a small market team, you should be watching them. You should be listening to them along with listening to what Bob Myers did to them, along with what Jerry West did. They made it clear that you can make a super team. Make sure that you draft and recruit well and add your pieces. That's all that Golden State did. They didn't do anything special. They didn't go get 3 superstars and put them together. They drafted 3 of their superstars. And then they added Iggy and then KD on down the line. That's smart. I don't care what you say, how you try to shape it up. If your favorite team could do that, you'd be happy. You're just mad they beat you to the punch. I said what I said, and you can feel how you want to feel about it. Again, this is April G with A Game Sports. See y'all next week.